I'm not that nervous. Like, still got a little like, ooh, but all right, if the answer, like, question comes, I'm gonna be there to answer it. Like, I've already done this too many times to even be too worried about it.
Don't step that way. Here. Don't step that way. Or you fight for it that way. Hey, what's real tap? Mario Garcia is a hell of a puncher. He's very explosive.
Dangerous hook.
Very dangerous. Everybody know that hook done knock a buffalo out. It's just the truth. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
He probably throw a hook more like mine anybody seen.
Yeah.
He got that one punch shock on that left hook. Deadly. And then he understands how to throw it. So yeah, that's where he is.
This is a much different version of myself, as you can see in my energy. And, you know, you could see, you know, how taking care of your body, being a real athlete, and showing a good example.
Ryan Garcia is sharpening his signature left hook in training camp as legendary former champion Roy Jones Jr. helps refine his timing and precision ahead of the upcoming showdown with Mario Barrios.
For this camp, we've been keeping it pretty with the same kind of pattern. You know, we wake up around 8:30, and then head to the, you know, strength and conditioning gym. We lift weights, we do, you know, conditioning drills, sprints, all that stuff. Then we take a minor, you know, 10-minute break, and then we head to, you know, boxing.
Today we're here strengthening, conditioning, fine-tuning for the last stretch. Make sure that the body feels right and that we are strong. Keep that pace, keep that pace. 30 seconds. Last 30 seconds.
Attaboy.
Roy Jones Jr. is demonstrating proper left hook technique during training sessions with a focus on balance, timing, hip rotation, and maintaining the correct guard position. Roy Jones Jr. explains that boxing is fundamentally built on technique rather than conditioning, noting that a fighter relying only on stamina may last a few rounds but true technical skill ensures survival until the final bell. Ryan Garcia admits that he lacked focus in previous years and spent too much time distracted by partying and outside influences during his suspension.
He's a hell of a puncher. He's very explosive.
Dangerous hook.
Very dangerous. Everybody know that hook done knock a buffalo out. It's just the truth. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
He probably throw a hook more like mine anybody seen.
Yeah.
He got that one punch shock on that left hook. Deadly. And then he understands how to throw it. So yeah, that's where he is.
Now he feels disciplined and motivated with the right people guiding his decisions and holding him accountable.
Then conditioning. Nowadays fighters are more into strength and conditioning than technique. How that happened was people started getting lazy with technique. So they would have technique, like you have a lot of guys that would have a technique, but they wouldn't be conditioned. So they come to the ring, they look good for a few rounds, then they die off. The better conditioned guy win the fight. So what started happening was a lot of guys that had technique were getting beat by guys that didn't have the same technique, but had better conditioning. So what happens? Boxing transitioned from a skill sport to a better conditioned sport. So now people forget about technique, but they work on more on condition. Condition becomes the...
Roy Jones Jr. praises Ryan Garcia, calling him a talented fighter who brings excitement and makes every bout compelling regardless of the opponent.
It was much different circumstances. You know, I was coming off a suspension, and during that suspension, I was drinking and partying and doing whatever I want for all the way through until they told me that I had to fight. My instincts told me not to. My body wasn't well, you know, it had a lot of toxins in it, as you can imagine. A lot of stupid shit I did. But you know, when you have a lot of people in your ear and people are telling you you can make $5 million, it's an easy fight, and you know, but you know internally that it's not the right decision, and I didn't trust my heart and didn't trust my instincts, and I paid the price for it.
So you say that you knew that it was not the right thing to do. Was there a moment in training camp or the week of the fight where you thought, man, I really think I might lose?
Oh, every day.
Really?
Chris Algieri explains that every situation in boxing has its own nuances and Ryan's case is especially unique, emphasizing that the dynamic between a fighter and their trainer is shaped more by personality than culture, and while culturally father-son pairings have succeeded like Robert Garcia with his father or even Roy Jones Jr.'s father, clashes can occur when strong personalities collide. And Algieri points out that Ryan's father is known to have a strong personality much like Ryan himself, which makes their collaboration unpredictable, yet when personalities align as with Floyd Mayweather and his uncle, remarkable results can happen.
Lose 30 pounds, remember how to box, and try to get sharp all in 2 months. And I don't even know how my body's gonna react. And it wasn't reacting. Every 2 days, it would just shut down. Runs didn't feel right. Nothing felt correct as it should, and I'm not blaming anybody. You come to find out, you know, whatever was happening in the Haney fight, it will never be replicated again. You can't do that. I still don't know to
That was crazy, yeah.
how I was able to drink and do whatever I wanted and somehow still win. I just wanted to make a mockery of Devin Haney.
Roy Jones Jr. praises Ryan Garcia, calling him a talented fighter who brings excitement and makes every bout compelling, regardless of the opponent.
You have to take your head off to that kid because he's one that's out there doing like what I used to do. He's fighting them all. He don't care who they are, where they are. If he get paid for it, he'll fight. And that's a beautiful thing. That is what boxing has been missing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't care who you fight, it's going to be an instant fight, and he has a chance to beat anybody.
Apparently Ryan's father also has a strong personality, and Chris Algieri notes that in recent times Ryan has struggled with disciplined coaching and structured training, observing that he often prefers informal training in his living room surrounded by distractions rather than maintaining a consistent gym routine. So the hope is that his father can help redirect him by reinstating a more traditional training approach that Ryan thrived under in the past, and if they manage to reconcile their personalities and lean on their shared history, Ryan could regain his previous high level of performance, with Algieri concluding that while challenges exist, the right guidance could make a substantial difference in Ryan's boxing journey.
Every case is its own, every case is unique, and Ryan is especially unique. Champ, you mentioned culture versus personality. I think it's much more personality than culture, because we've seen culturally it work with Mexican father-son duos. I mean, we have Robert Garcia here, his father trained him, and Mikey Garcia, it worked, you know. And then you've got, you know, even like Roy Jones versus Floyd Mayweather. Roy Jones's father, you know, butting heads. You know, Floyd and his father butting heads. Uncle worked out great. Roger and Floyd worked out beautifully. But the fathers, they hit heads together. Then you got, even today, you got Naoya Inoue and his father. His father's fantastic. Trains both him and his brother, and to great success. And it seems like there doesn't seem like there's much friction there, at least that we've seen. So I don't think it's so much cultural as much as it is personality. And in terms of the personalities, Ryan has a very large personality. Apparently, so does his.
Analysts point out a key tactical flaw in Ryan Garcia that could seriously impact his upcoming fight against Mario Barrios, noting that while Ryan is undoubtedly talented, his most recent performances have raised concerns, and despite his skills and marketability, he recently lost a fight that many critics argue should have positioned him better, with the concern being that flashy appeal and commercial presence do not always equate to tactical excellence in the ring.
Back on their history, to which case Ryan could actually perform at a very high level again. In recent form, Ryan has had a lot of trouble with coaching. Listening to what he's going to do, showing up to the gym, he'd rather train, it seems like in his living room, you know, wearing sweatpants and you know, whoever's around with influencers. Maybe his father can crack him out of that and get him back to a more traditional training style like we've seen him in the past when he was on a really good run at some point, you know, at a point a few years ago where he looked like he really could take over, and then things kind of fell off. So possibly the father-son duo this time could work once again, because it has worked in the past.
When you look at this, all we need now is a coach with some experience. Oh, we have Coach Robert Garcia. What's the secret sauce here? Is there one? Is it about knowing when to be dad and when to be coach? But is there a secret here? Is it just, as the guys have pointed out, a matter of personality?
Looking at his bout with Romero highlights this issue, as Romero, though not an elite fighter, had extensive sparring experience with Ryan and understood his tendencies, effectively countering his attacks and exploiting weaknesses in Garcia's style, with Ryan's usual approach of pressing forward and dictating action playing right into Romero's strategy. And early in the fight Ryan's aggression was met with tight defense and smart counter-punching which made him hesitant for the remainder of the bout, while Romero's discipline and defensive positioning also stood out as he kept his hands tight at his chin and maintained a solid stance with good leg positioning to neutralize Ryan's favored lead hook, and this example underscores that without adaptation and strategic discipline Ryan's natural aggression could be exploited again, posing a serious risk against a calculated opponent like Mario Barrios.
Frank Davis, elite level counterpuncher, that's Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist. They're much more talented fighters than Mario Barrios. But then I take you to his most recent outing, and he lost this fight. It's the reason people are like, how on earth does he have a world title shot in his next fight? Well, that's what being good looking in a massive commercial pool does for you. But I take you to the Rolly Romero fight, and Romero is okay, but he's not an elite level fighter in my opinion, but he was someone who had sparred a lot of rounds with Ryan Garcia and understood Ryan Garcia as a fighter. And again, he shows you the way here with effective counterpunching and isolating those weaknesses of Ryan Garcia. So what you'll see here in the Romero fight, and what I really like about Rolly here, is that he's not afraid of Ryan Garcia rushing him, and Ryan Garcia wants to do what Ryan Garcia does, those things we explained before. He likes to press the action, and it's early in the fight, and this made him so apprehensive for the rest of the fight that he lost. As you can see, Ryan Garcia, he steps into the fight here, and even though Ryan Garcia is right in front of him, Rolly knows Ryan's probably looking.
Tim Bradley breaks down the upcoming fight between Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios by highlighting key dynamics that could determine the outcome, noting that Barrios' coach brings a critical advantage because he has studied Ryan Garcia's tendencies and knows his vulnerabilities, which could help Barrios exploit Ryan's weaknesses while maximizing his own strengths. And Bradley emphasizes that Mario Barrios is a well-rounded fighter who, while not elite in any single area, is competent in multiple aspects including counter-punching, fighting off the back foot, slipping punches, and combining blocks with quick counters.
Garcia was expected to beat Rolly Romero. He's not seen as being the best operator out there, Rolly Romero. And I guess it shows you that a fighter who's not even top level can exploit Ryan Garcia with the right game plan. So can Mario Barrios do it? And what can Ryan Garcia do about it? Can he change? Can he fix these problems? Well, even though I don't think he's particularly consistent with his counter-punching Barrios, he has shown in moments he can do it. And so if Ryan Garcia remains the same, I think there's a chance he can execute this. I'll show you in this fight here against Akhmedov, when Barrios was down at super lightweight. Watch here. So he steps in with the jab, which misses. Akhmedov then returns with his own backhand, which Barrios pulls back from. And then in that moment, you can see his right hand here is away from his chin, a la Ryan Garcia, I suppose you could say. And Barrios catches him with a counter left hook, which is the exact position that Ryan Garcia has been a little bit weakened, and he touches down there, Akhmedov. Against Ugas, we see him land a nice counter jab here as Ugas fires his jab, he catches it, throws his own jab.
Alright everyone, stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.